Every level of car racing games explained. Level 1. Trash. The bottom of the barrel. Games built to waste your time and drain your wallet. You open the App Store. You type racing game. These are the first 50 results. Zero effort, zero respect for the player. Just ads, just timers, just fake currency that asks you to spend real currency to skip the fake currency grind. You've played one of these. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Some guy in a YouTube ad is drifting a Lamborghini, and the gameplay looks insane. You download it, turns out you just tap the screen to avoid traffic. That's it. That's the whole game. 14 cars on the roster, 13 of them are locked behind a premium pass. The one free car handles like a bar of soap on a wet floor, and there's a countdown timer stopping you from playing until you either pay up or wait 4 hours. Nobody is seriously defending Level 1 racing games. They exist to monetize boredom, and honestly, they do it extremely well. Level 2. Bad. Unlike Level 1, Level 2 games were actually made by people who care, or at least people who said they cared in a press release. These are the officially licensed games, the movie tie-ins, the games where someone signed a big deal, grabbed a bunch of real car badges, slapped them on mid-physics, and called it finished. Fast and Furious Crossroads. Look it up, I will wait. You either have one of two problems in Level 2. The game is so in love with its own IP that it forgot to be fun. Or it's a perfectly okay game underneath, but the license is doing all the heavy lifting, and the moment you strip it away, there is absolutely nothing there. Level 2 also includes the always online games that launch broken. Servers dead inside 8 months. Season pass content still listed on the store page. You try to load your save, and it's just gone. And then you have the games your relatives bought you because they saw the word cars on the box and figured that was enough. They meant well. They always do. Level 3. Mid. All right, I know people use the word mid to describe anything from broken garbage to a 7 out of 10 game these days, but we're here to define real mid, like The Crew 2, like Need for Speed Heat, like basically every racing game that released between 2015 and 2022 and disappeared immediately after. Not broken, not great, just there. Level 3 racing games are perfect background noise. You put them on, you zone out, you drive around a slightly fictional version of Miami for 90 hours. You feel nothing. You remember nothing. Name one memorable moment from The Crew 2. Right now, you can't do it. And it's not because you have a bad memory. It's because the game was designed to be forgotten. They ride fine. The cars look good. The soundtrack is licensed. There's some kind of progression system involving tokens and cosmetics that means absolutely nothing because the skill ceiling barely exists. That quality has made Level 3 racing games perfect for Twitch filler streams and YouTube highway driving compilations nobody asked for. And because they're safe and technically competent, publishers keep making them. That's why there's always a new one every couple of years. Same game, new map, new loading screen quote about freedom and asphalt. I have never once in my life met someone whose personality is The Crew 2. Not one person. Unlike Level 2, Level 3 games might actually have real modes. Online, career, custom events, time trials, all of it technically playable. None of it spiritually alive. All right, up until this point, it's been all fun and games. Time to start making people mad. Level 4. Okay, in here we start talking about games people genuinely love. Some of them might be your favorite. I'm sorry in advance. Level 4 is full of what I like to call wallpaper gaming. I'm trademarking that. Don't steal it. What separates it from Level 3 mid is that these games are genuinely beautiful. Technically staggering. The lighting is cinematic. The open world is enormous. The car list goes on forever. You can spend hours just driving around doing nothing, and it somehow feels meaningful. And that's exactly the problem. These games are engineered to be watched more than played. The gameplay loop is so forgiving that skill barely enters the conversation. You can be genuinely terrible at driving and still win most races. You can be excellent and never actually feel the difference. Forza Horizon 5? Yes, I'm going there. It's gorgeous. Playground Games built something that looks like the cover of a gaming magazine come to life. But here's the thing, Forza Horizon 5 is the racing game equivalent of one of those luxury show homes. Impeccably staged, perfect in photographs. Nobody actually lives there. You walk in, everything looks right. You sit on the couch and the cushions don't move. You open the fridge and it's full of fake fruit. You try to feel something real, you can't. That's Horizon's driving model. It's a screensaver you control. Now, people are going to get mad that I put Horizon in this category. But remember, we are judging games purely on what they demand from you as a player. And Horizon demands almost nothing. It hands you a playground and then quietly makes sure you can never fail inside it. Level 4 games earn enormous love from casual players. People starve for a polished racing game on modern hardware. Look at Horizon and call it a generation-defining masterpiece. Technically, that's not wrong. It's just not the best racing game. Very important distinction. Level 5. Good. Everyone from this level on can actually race. Whether you love them or hate them, the craft is undeniable. These games respect the player enough to let them fail completely. Level 5 has real physics, genuine mechanical depth, and driving models that reward study. They carry serious respect in the sim and simcade community, but they still get dismissed by casual players who call them boring and inaccessible. Which, look, I understand. Not everyone wants to spend 3 laps learning how to trail brake into a hairpin at Suzuka. But that's a you problem, not a game problem. Level 5 lives in every corner of the genre. Gran Turismo 7, Assetto Corsa, Dirt Rally 2.0, Project Cars 2, the simcade greats who figured out how to give you depth without destroying you for being human. Gran Turismo 7, great game. Good racing sim. You might be wondering, why can't GT7 be level 6? Allow me to demonstrate. At its best, GT7 is breathtaking. The car modeling, the track list, the cafe mode that teaches you actual automotive history, all of it is there. The bones are perfect. But then you go online and the matchmaking is chaos. The economy is built around grinding for dozens of hours or spending more real money on a $60 game. And Polyphony Digital drops updates once a quarter, like they're doing you a personal favor. It's like a 5-star restaurant that runs out of your order halfway through the night and then makes you fill out a form to get it remade. The vision is impeccable. The execution is still missing that one piece.
Level 6. Great. And suddenly we get a much shorter list. 0 compromises are made here. The racing demands your complete attention. You cannot put this on in the background. This is not ambience. This is a game. These are the titles that changed what people believed a racing game could be. They didn't just raise the ceiling. They rebuilt the room. Burnout 3, Takedown, Gran Turismo 4, Need for Speed Underground 2, F-Zero GX, Midnight Club, Los Angeles. These names land instantly with anyone who grew up taking this genre seriously. People who haven't touched these games in 15 years will still tell you exactly where they were sitting when they first played them. F-Zero GX is a perfect example of why some level 6s fall just short of the top. Racing games are like a sport. The craft evolves. People build on what came before. F-Zero GX was so far ahead of its moment that Nintendo didn't know how to follow it up and just didn't. That says everything about how ahead of its time it was. But it also explains why it sits here and not higher. Burnout 3 invented a way to make crashing feel like the entire point of the game. Nobody has done it better since. Not even close. That's what a level 6 does. It invents something, and everyone who comes after spends years trying to copy it. Level 7. GOAT. GOAT racing games are extremely rare. They come around maybe once in a generation. These games don't just live inside the genre. They define it from the outside. They make people who have never cared about racing games care about racing games. They can go technical. They can go casual. They work in the underground. They work in the mainstream. They are complete. Their identity is so specific that no studio has been able to copy them even with unlimited time and budget. Nobody has made another game that feels like Need for Speed. Most Wanted 2005. Not one. They have tried. Multiple studios. Full budgets. Better technology. They cannot do it. That police pursuit system. That blacklist structure. That Razor Callahan moment. Those are a cultural fingerprint that belongs to one game and one game only. I need you to understand something. I know it's easy to write Most Wanted off as childhood nostalgia. I know hating on nostalgia is the cool move right now. But go back and actually play it. It holds. The world is tight. The AI cops are genuinely intelligent. The progression is paced perfectly. That game is not a memory. That game is just good. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't care what platform loyalties you have. I don't care if you think kart racers shouldn't qualify. 80 million copies sold. 8-0. There is no game in this genre with a wider reach, a deeper competitive scene, and more genuine joy per session. It is technically untouchable at what it does, and everyone who has ever tried to chase it has come up short. And Gran Turismo 4. Before Gran Turismo had a budget the size of a country. Before ray tracing and 4K menus. It was just a game that understood cars better than almost anything ever put on a disc. Over 700 cars in 2004. 700. That's not a feature list. That's obsession. That's what Level 7 looks like. In 20 years, when the history of gaming gets treated seriously, these are the names in the first chapter. Not because they sold the most, because they earned a permanent place in the culture. If you want to understand why people love racing games, just put one of these in someone's hands. They'll get it within 5 minutes. They always do. But if you're already a racing game fan, it's time to find out what kind you actually are. There are 7 types, and you're definitely one of them.